Before this video begins, I would just like to publicly state that this is for a general audience. This can be enjoyed by children and adults alike. Children under the age of 13 can enjoy this video for the Thomas & Friends brand itself. Teens and adults can also enjoy this video for its production value and nostalgia.
Thank you, Mainland Studios.
Alright, son. Now, before you become the current controller of the Northwestern Railway, I need you to be fully aware of these three criminals currently on the loose. First, there's Brandon Dickerson, formerly a bus driver and still currently a railway protester. Back at 69, he got fired for both protesting against the railway and driving Bulgy under a bridge. 3 years ago, he tried to sabotage the Farquhar branch, and he even hijacked some locomotives. Now, the little person is Ian Waltz. He was formerly an employee of a scrapyard near Barrow and Furnace, although he got fired due to being overly excited about his passion for killing steam engines. Both of these criminals currently work for the guy on the right, which is our third guy, an arch enemy of mine, Joseph Franklin. He just wants to see my railway the same way the railway on the mainland is. We also claim this little sheet of Joseph's plans of what he's gonna do. You think you have what it takes to stop them? Today, Bertie the bus was very excited. He's bringing some tourists on a little field trip to the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. He arrived just in time for a training exercise. Chop chop, hubba hubba! You're on, Harold!
It's go time!
Bertie watched in amazement as Harold maneuvered his rescue tactics.
Mission accomplished.
Attaboy, Harold! Another job finished. Bertie was left beguiled, and as he left, he thought to himself, I wish I would do some rescue work. Bertie! Pay attention, we're at a level crossing. Oh, sorry. Oh, hello, Sir Handel. Losing weight?
No, I'm not Sir Handel.
Wait, Duncan?
Aye, it's me. Me brother on Wales is celebrating its 100th anniversary, so I figured to do the same. It's only temporary. I wouldn't need be like Rosie.
Oh, well then, congratulations! It was a long trip, but Bertie finally made his way back to Elsbridge to see his branch line friends, but they weren't too pleasant.
But let's get down to business. What have we got?
Damaged rails. Obviously too hazardous to puff across.
Are we sure this wasn't an accident?
It could have been the sun.
The sun may buckle and bend the rails, but can it chip the rails?
Don't worry. We'll use all our resources to find these scoundrels and bring them to justice.
Bertie was left puzzled.
What do we do now then? We wait.
When Bertie made his way to the top station, he was shocked to see police barriers. Bless my gasket, what happened? There was a break-in last night, Mr. Bus. It's Bertie. And who, may I ask, are you? My name is Brandon Dickerson. I am the station master of the Farquhar station. Thankfully, the crooks didn't steal anything valuable. Nothing but a train schedule, which can make my work a lot more difficult without it. I see. Well, I hope the crooks are found soon. Further down the road, he made his way to the quarry. What happened? There was a burglary last night. Some of the quarry equipment got stolen, so I'm dropping off some spare supplies for the workmen. Well, I saw some activity as well. Damaged rails, stolen schedule.
Well, if you think that was odd, I saw some strange activity myself. I was doing some early morning shopping when something caught my eye. A tall object and two figures carrying something. The object turned out to be a vehicle.
Oh, do you happen to know what the vehicle is? Everything's unloaded!
Oh, sorry. Gotta work now.
Bollocks. Well, thank you for your time. As Bertie left the quarry, a shocking sight caught his eye. Oi! What do you think you're doing? Yeah! We've been spotted! Florid, Denny! Help! Give it up, Bulgy! Spill the beans! I'm being hijacked! Hold on, I'm gonna ram him! Sorry! Bertie? What's going on? Follow that bus! Bulgy's being hijacked! Full steam ahead! Bertie! Your gas tank's leaking! There has to be a way to stop the crooks! We can't let them slip under our noses! Slip? That's it! Thomas, head for the nearest crossing! I've got a plan! Now stay where you are! Be careful, Bertie! We better get some petrol first. Then we'll make our way to Tidmouth, then Kirkmanch whoa, what on? Dodge it! Oh, slow down! Drop, you won't slip! Look out! Oh no! After the collision, they called Harold in for the scene. Butch was already there with the police. They got the crooks out, and they retrieved the stolen schedule and quarry equipment.
Nice work, Bertie. You've stopped Don and Denny. They've been wanted for months.
Why were we given such a treacherous assignment? Harold then took the goons to Tidmouth Prison.
Cheers!
Great job, Bertie! Yeah, but something keeps tackling my motor. Before they got on Harold, one of them stated, "Why were we given such a treacherous assignment?" I'm proposing that this case goes down deeper than the Marianas Trench. Then Bertie remembered. Quick! To Farquhar Station! Percy, Toby, how did you two get here?
We backtracked from Ellsbridge to Ulstead.
backtracking, 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 Macarena.
So, how are you guys? We heard you got the crooks.
Yeah, but Bertie has something else in mind. Tell him, Bertie. All clues have pointed out to Don and Denny. However, the clues also misdirected us from the true mastermind. From all the information I've gathered from the station master, he said that there was a break-in. But if there was a break-in, then would you care to tell me why the glass pieces are on the outside of the building? If it was a break-in, then the pieces would be inside the building.
So, what you're saying is the window was broken from the inside?
Precisely. So, who created the fake break-in and gave Don and Denny the train schedule? What's with all the ruckus here? Dickerson was the mastermind! Gentlemen, if you would do your duties... Whoa, hold on now. There was already a constable squad here. You can't check again. The bell we kept!
Sarge, come here, quick!
Blimey! What the fuck? Help! I'm the rail station master! That imposter tried to knock me out and he stuffed me here in the cellar! Sir, would you care to tell me why this good man has been stuffed in the cellar? He was caught... Stow the whoppers, you muppet! I believe I know what happened. It all started this morning.
What the? Somebody save me!
Dickerson knew that the station master would make a lot of noise, so that's when he set it up the fake break-in and fake police barriers so no one would get in. But before the setup, as a station master, he had access to get the train schedule and give it to Don and Denny.
With the schedule in hand, Don and Denny should know what time the trains will arrive. So, they had a head start and bust the rails to a pump.
But in order to damage the rails, they need the proper equipment. So that's when they went to the quarry and stolen the tools. And what better ways around the road than Bulgy the double-decker bus? What do you gotta say for yourself, you mug? No!
Give it up. There's no place for you to go.
Brendan Dickerson, you are under arrest for thievery, vandalism, grand theft auto, false identity, hostage holding, and attempt of railway sabotage. But I just don't get it. Why Bulgy specifically? Maybe to look inconspicuously normal.
Or maybe they took him to carry the extra equipment.
Hence the term double-decker. There is a third option. There is? Yes, and it involves a reunion. With Bertie? Because I don't think you two ever crossed paths. No, don't you get it? Brandon Dickerson was my original driver!
Sounds like a confession to me.
It all dates back in 1967. Dickerson started driving me when he was 15 years old, and we would often take passengers on our usual route to St. Pancras. We grew a bond with each other. Then 1 year later, we were transferred to Sodor, and the sights and sounds disgusted us both. Steam propulsion, still operational. Something had to be done Dickerson thought to himself, and an idea erupted from his mind. Come the following day, he came to me with 2 protesting stickers, joined the Anti-Rail League, and railway bus. Passengers went for us like a dog to pot roast. Things were going well. That was until I was wedged under that bridge, and all our passengers buzzed off to the steam engines. Since the bus company didn't have a high enough budget to repair me, that's when I got converted into a hen house. And as for Dickerson, due to his protest against the railway, he got fired. 34 years later, I received word that I will return to road service. I met my old friend Dickerson at the auto repair shop, but no one forgot what he did, and they reminded him he was banned from ever driving me again. I didn't care. I was just happy to ride again. Now you listen to me, you sly, sinister fox. There are a plethora of ways to protest against a certain subject, but what you and your henchmen did was horrid and unforgivable. Hijacking transportation, such a disgrace. Come road or rail. But that aside, I'll be glad to hear from you rotting away in prison, isolated from the world.
Me too. You're going away for a good long time.
You mean scarlet deceiver! Case closed. And the engines cheered for Detective Birdie the Bus. Word is spread across the island, and everywhere Birdie went, praises could be heard from people and engines, including Harold.
You know, the Search and Rescue Center could use more heroes like you.
Thanks, Harold.
Round, round, get around.
Hey, Birdie. Want to have a little race from here to Toy Wreck? Oh, it's on!
Round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. I get around, round, 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 round.
Hey, look out!
Round, round, get around, I get around. Yeah, get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round.
The Sodor Steamworks is one of the busiest places on the island of Sodor. Engines and rolling stock being mended on a yearly basis. Victor runs the place with his assistant, Kevin the Mobile Crane.
For Abbott's rivets, do we need 3/4 or 5/8?
We're talking narrow gauge, Kevin, like me. I'd say 5/8.
Here's your cogs, Dash.
Is that even my size?
Kevin, those are rail grippers for Shane Dooney.
Yes, boss.
Muy bien. The couplings are here. Kevin, would you please get them? And so Kevin did. But he was in a hurry. Vivado, Kevin! The crate needs to be unfastened first! And indeed, Kevin is a very clumsy and cumbersome crane. At the end of the day, partial work was done in the works. But Victor wasn't pleased with partial.
I'm truly sorry, boss. Today I let you down. The entire steamworks down. I feel like a disappointment to you.
Kevin.
I don't want to be exiled.
Kevin, relajate. I'm not going to exile you. It's just, I wish you could be a little less you. Kevin went outside to think about what he'd done. Toby then came up.
Good afternoon, Kevin. Oh dear, you look distraught. Another busy day?
I don't know, Toby.
Today's schedule was a hassle, and as usual, I tried, but my clumsiness gets the better of me.
Well, you know what I do when I'm upset? I take a little stroll along the countryside. It always helps me when I'm stressed.
You know what? I might just do that. Thanks, Toby.
You're welcome, Kevin.
And so, Kevin went about on his deep walk. This calls for a montage. When you got no friends and everybody thinks you're a brat, then don't waste your time buying a cat. Wait, what? Just travel the world where it's you and your hook for affection, accepting yourself and your imperfections. A deep journey, it's a deep journey, a real deep journey, finding yourself on a deep journey. It's very, very deep that I gotta say deep 5 times deep journey. Oh!
Okay, Kevin, no more being clumsy and cumbersome. New year, new me.
¿Dónde es Kevin? Kevin! Kevin, where are you? Kevin! Oh, there you are.
Boss, I'm ready.
Oh, really? Well, you do sound confident. Let's see if today's agenda will be better than your predecessing work. Right, let's begin. And Kevin was true to his word. He worked a little slower than his usual pace, but at least some engines were being all fixed up, and Victor was highly pleased. Can you believe it, Henrietta? 6 hours without a single complaint. Well, that is true, but I do miss the laughter. Really? What do you mean? Well, you see, Kevin always brightens our day, but without his clowning around, it kind of does look dull. And Kevin did look sad yesterday. I think you telling him to be different kind of ruins the mood. Well, it's best for everyone. Best for everyone? Or best for you? And Victor was left to think. That evening at the steamworks, something very scary happened.
Ashtray does... Huh?
Come on then. There we go. Thank you. And here he is.
What are those two doing with Victor?
So, hey boss, you want me to do some scrapping? Oh, no, not this engine. You see, the 1173 wasn't scrapped. Instead, he was on display. So this engine should also be on display. I'm thinking in Sugar Mill, Florida. And we shall make £1 million out of this.
Okay, I'm gonna have to improvise.
Kevin knew he had to do something.
Yahoo!
Hey, Kevin! What is this rascal? Run, mate, run!
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, me nuts! Come on,
drivers!
You shall not pass!
Forget the engine! Bail out! Bail out! And the criminals scurried away.
That's it!
The next day, Toby came in to pick up Henrietta.
So what's this change Henrietta told me about?
Well, I just want to please my boss, Victor.
Tenzig? No, the red engine! Kevin, a word please?
Yeah, boss?
Listen, so what Henrietta said was right. Remember what I said to you yesterday? Please, forget all of that. I'm sorry.
I'm afraid I don't follow, boss.
You see, your basis, the Ramus's 6-ton cranes, are also known to be clumsy and cumbersome.
Really? So I'm not the only one?
No, you're not. So, your goofiness really is something special in this place.
Besides, we all know that overhaul can take months and things can be dull in the works. But with you, you're like a part-time clown.
Toby's right. So, I'm here to say that you may continue on being who you are. At least, don't try to be too silly.
Right away, boss.
So in the end, the Steamworks was back to the way it was before, with Kevin being clumsy. Kevin!
Sorry, boss.
But you know what? That's just the way we like it. If you've ever been on the Snowdon Mountain Railway, then I'm sure you're going to love the Coldie-Fell Railway. Although, unlike the Snowdon Mountain Railway, all the engines here are operational, including Alaric, the number 7, and Eric, the number 8. Speaking of number 8, Eric was just pulling the T-train down the summit. Everyone in the train was having a special dessert. Things were going well until they approached a crossing. Out of nowhere, a lorry darted dangerously over the crossing. Eric slammed on his brakes, and there was a loud squelching and a very loud bother.
Good tidings, Eric. How was the T-train?
Things were well until lorry dangerously darted over crossing.
Oh, dearie me.
Some automobile darting across a crossing? Surely it wouldn't give me any trouble. Come the following day, Patrick took a passenger train up to the summit. As Patrick was approaching the crossing, there stood the lorry. The lorry turned on its motor when... "Don't you even think about it!" snapped Patrick. Surprisingly, the lorry's motor shut off, and it remained stationary even when Patrick passed the crossing. What did I tell those other engines? There's no need to worry. Patrick had to wait for Alaric to puff down from the loop line. "No need to worry about that lorry there, Alaric." Alright then, lad. But unfortunately, Patrick was highly wrong. When Alaric was approaching the crossing, the lorry did the exact same maneuver yesterday, darting dangerously over the crossing. It freaked Alaric out so much, he tried to race away as fast as he could. Wilfred was just shunting in the yard when he heard some squealing. There, Alaric screeched to a halt,
to Kirk Mansion.
Arctic, is everything alright?
Oh no! Some lorry darted dangerously over the level crossing, lad. Wilfred pondered. He remembered that Eric mentioned the same thing about a lorry dangerously crossing over.
I wonder if he's still there.
So Wilfred went to the crossing to see if it was still there. And sure enough, it was. But when Wilfred showed up, the lorry didn't do anything. It didn't even bother with the other engines. Not Coldy, not Ernest, not Shane Dooney, not even Patrick. However, whenever Alaric or Eric show up, then the lorry strikes. And every time when the last train passes, the lorry leaves. That night, the engines held an indignation meeting.
Right then, so it's clear what makes the lorry tick. Whenever Alaric or Eric are in presence, the lorry dashes dangerously over the crossing in front of them.
Doy, we figured out that much.
But I don't get it. Why would the lorry attack Alaric and Eric?
It's not the lorry itself, it's whoever's in it.
I think it's because of the fact that on our relatives' railway, the Snowden Mountain Railway, both Ralph and Erie were scrapped.
More like withdrawn, but still, it was a little upsetting.
If Ralph and Erie are scrapped, who's ever in the lorry wants them scrapped too? That is simply uncommissionable.
Alright, Ernest, don't get your automatic brakes in a jam. So we know what their objective is. So now we need our objective. Catch those criminals!
That's easier said than done.
Come the following day, Alaric was just preparing for his first train of the day when Wilfred popped up.
Whoa! Hold on, Arctic. Until we sort out this devious lorry's problem out, I'm afraid you and Eric had better stay in the sheds for your own safety.
Alright, lad. And so, the jobs were switched. Within the hours, Wilfred returned with the train, and Molly puffed up to take the passengers home.
Good afternoon, Wilfred. Why so under the weather?
I am worried that Arctic and Eric, they can't do their work because some reckless lorry.
A chill ran up Molly's funnel.
Does the lorry stand by the level crossing?
Yes, it does.
Then Wilfred was shocked.
How do you know that?
Because I know those criminals. They're known as the Wreckers of Realism. They've been known to exterminate engines who are the last of their kind. I should know, because I myself was a victim. I was pulling a freight train when I saw a vehicle on the crossing. I braked, but it was too late. I ravaged their automobile and they threatened me with the tool, so I ran.
Wilfred asked about what the tool was, but Molly only replied,
The unspeakable, Wilfred. The unspeakable! I swear, those two are just as troublesome as Bill and Ben.
Bill and Ben, who are they?
So Molly started talking about the twins and their tricks. And when the explaining was done, an idea popped into Wilfred's mind, and he set to work immediately.
Whoa, Wilfred! What's the rush?
Shane, rally engines, I've got an idea.
Okie dokie.
That afternoon, all the engines gathered to the sheds.
So what's the plan?
So the plan is you two will stay here, Wappa.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Have you gone mad?
That's a suicide mission!
Eric, do you really want to go with an idea like that? Eric wants justice. At any cost.
It's worth a shot.
And it may be the only shot we have.
The next day, the plan was set into action. The truck, Wilfred, and Eric puffed along the line.
You okay, lad?
But the timid purple engine said nothing.
I know it's a little frightening, but there is a problem. We'll do it together.
Eventually, the two engines made it to the crossing. And there was the lorry. Eric was placed in the middle, and the lorry sprung out like a panther.
Driver, now!
Quickly, the driver snapped a photo of the lorry's license plate. Great! Now let's get out of here before they... Oh, shit! Run! Run! Freaking run! Oh, no, you don't! The engines quickly reversed back to the Kirk Mansion sheds.
Alright, Nathan, that's our cue.
Engines assemble!
The rest of the engines all rallied up, preparing for an ambush.
Steam attack!
And the engines fumed out steam and exhaust so much that it blinded the lorry and made it crash along the rails.
Gott in Himmel!
Crikey!
Mamma mia!
Well, Bob's our uncle. We got him now.
Oh, what the blinking Nora? You miserable machinery!
You want to say that again? Uh-oh. Let's get out of here!
You're not going anywhere.
Oh, botheration! And just like that, the crooks were apprehended. Molly took the wreckers of realism away, and the engines were happy that they're gone, including Alec and Eric. That night, the engines were celebrating.
Sweet justice for the win!
That was actually a rather genius plan, Wilfred. Switching Patrick and Eric's nameplate and number is pretty clever.
Well, I can take in all the credit to Molly, mentioning two mischievous engines that tricked some big green diesel by taking their names and numbers off. My plan was just slightly similar with a twist, so I guess that was clever.
Clever? I beg to differ. I was used as bait. That was humiliating, despicable. We could have been scorched.
Cynic Doom! At least what matters now is that our numbers 7 and 8 are safe now.
And the other engines couldn't agree more. For the following weeks, no automobiles dangerously hopped over the crossings. And I'm happy to say that both our number 7 and 8 are safe. I bet you were expecting a joyful intro, huh? Well, no, you got this. Now, how did I end up in this predicament, you might ask? Well, why don't we go back about, what? Let's say 14 hours ago. Yeah, let's do that. So it all started late afternoon yesterday, when I was on my way to Sodor.
Oi, check below deck and see if our cargo is still safe.
Alright then,
Cargo? What cargo is he talking? What the? Chugga chugga choo choo?
Well then, welcome committees, degraded. I was unloaded from the ship and was sitting at Brendam Docks, and I got a nice greeting of engines who were also from my country. I must say, it's nice to see another engine from my country, I'll tell you what. So what's your name, son? My name is Humphrey.
May I ask what type of engine you are?
Well there, little one. I happen to be a camelback locomotive, because the cap in the middle of me makes me look like I have a hump of a camel.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a camelback before.
Well, that's not very surprising. It's sad to say that the camelbacks were banned from being built after 1927 due to some certain flaws. What type of flaws? I don't really want to talk about it. Evening was arriving, and I was sitting in a siding when a workman came strolling up. "We've stuck on Gordon's Hill. Edward's usually the banker, but he's busy on his own branch line. Would you help him, please?" "Certainly will." So off Humphrey went to help with, singing along the main line.
I got my heart stolen from a robber with some high heels on. Yeah, there's nothing I could do, I couldn't stop her from...
Oh, we're here. Hello up there!
Hello down there! Golly, this has to be the largest amount of garbage I ever hold.
Don't worry, Whiff. I'll give you a little tug. Since I had a cow catcher, I was unable to push him, so I was going to pull him up the hill instead.
Ready when you are.
So I tugged with all my might. Perhaps I was trying a bit too hard, for I worked so hard that massive plumes emerged from my funnel.
Humphrey, stop! You're smoking! It's getting all over the place!
I'm sorry. So when we got to the crest of Gordon's Hill, I didn't want to make any more mistakes with my eruption. Scruff was shunting at the waste dump when we finally arrived. A little late, but hey, better late than never, I guess.
My golly, Whiff, what happened to you? You look even dirtier than me.
I could be to blame, sir. We had a little trouble at Gordon's Hill, and the problem only escalated when I was pluming really bad smoke.
It's okay. I appreciate it when you helped me back there. Thanks.
Thanks. Hope you have a good night. I was looking for a place to rest when I heard some shouting at Knapford's sheds.
Oi, Humphrey, why don't you bunk with us, lad?
Wait, what now? Thanks, guys. I was looking for a place for some shut-eye anyway. And so, I decided to bunk down with the other engines at Knapford's sheds. The next day, I haven't been given a job yet, so I was just sitting in a siding, feeling pretty bored. I'm a bumper car! Mate, when you're done having some fun, your train's ready. Ah, much obliged, Stafford. So I got hitched on and waited for the guard's whistle. But that's when trouble really began. Mate, I have to use the loo. Fine, but make it quick. We leave in 10 minutes. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Whoa, no. Oh, you're back. Wait, you're not the driver. Oh, what the? What's going on? I'm sorry, Humphrey, but your crew is a little under the weather. So let me take over. Wait.
Hold on. What? No! This is a hijack! Help!
What's with all this smoke? With all the smoke, that did give me an idea. What? I feel a slope. What's going on? Here we go!
Whoa! Hey, what? Ah!
Runaway train! Emily saw the runaway train and was horrified, but as a part-time safety engine, she rushed over to the nearest signal box. The word quickly spread about Humphrey's runaway, and they switched him over to the coaling plant branch. I rushed through the coaling plant, and then disaster struck. Yeah, and that pretty much leads to where I am today. Nothing but a derailed old wreck with my first train. Oh yeah, and the hijacker was escaping. This isn't over, chump! The boss has plans for you, look! Ah!
Hey, watch it, you Jawa!
Oh, I remember you. But the hijacker said nothing and just scuttled away as fast as he could. Who was that guy?
That was the one and only Brandon Dickerson.
What's your beef with him?
Long story short, he was my ex-driver. He attempted to sabotage a branch line and then got arrested for it. Why? Wouldn't you like to know?
It was a little while, but eventually help came to get me out of this predicament.
Don't worry, Humphrey. We'll have you back on the tracks in no time.
Humphrey, I demand to know how this happened. Well, sir, you see, I was hijacked by some guy named Brandon Dickerson? What? You mean the escapist from the Tidmouth Penitentiary? Oh, no. That cannot be good. I'll have to send a manhunt. Well, thank you, Humphrey. After I was re-railed, I was sent to the steamworks, and after a few days, I eventually came back to Sudrian society. Okay, and get this. There's this woman who mispronounces Hero's name as Hyro. It's awful, right? I know. I made some really good friends. But I just can't stop thinking about what Brandon Dickerson said. But one thing I do know is that we may cross paths with Brandon Dickerson again. When it comes to steam engines, you'd think that they have a lot of circular features. Circular boiler, dome, funnel, buffers, wheels. Yeah, you know, the usual basic parts of a steam engine. You wouldn't think of any other shape they would have, other than some square parts like their cab or their tender. Well, you'd be surprised that if you look closely enough, you would notice that steam engines do have some square-like features. Take Toby, for instance. He's all trim and square. We also have Scruff, the vertical boilered engine, and our main character of the story, Neville. Neville is a Class Q1 engine. He's gentlemanly, kind, and highly enthusiastic. However, he does have one mild fear of bridges. You're late. Sorry there, mate. There was a cow on the line. Right.
Hey there, you must be Neville.
Oh, I am. How'd you guess?
Percy told me that you were running late with his guaranteed connection. Why's that?
Well, you see, I wasn't very truthful. I actually had another problem.
Problem? What's that with troubling you?
Well, you see, mate, I have a little issue with bridges.
Oh, well, I have a little issue with hills. I tend to overheat when I...
No, I mean, like, I'm scared to cross over bridges ever since what happened back in 2005.
Neville, from my experience, not all bridges are bad. Just take it from me. Wooden bridges give me the most trouble. Back in 1972, I remember this one incident that made me look like I was walking a tightrope. Next, in 1998, I got caught on a flood. And finally, in 2002, I chuffed over a rickety old bridge, but it was worth it to save a flock of lambs, and all those bridges were wooden.
So, you got a problem with wooden bridges? Kinda ironic since you're 69% made out of wood.
Right, but I'm just saying, wooden bridges may be okay, but I trust other bridges with a lot of different materials, since they look a lot stronger and steadier than the ones I mainly cross on my line.
Neville did feel a little better. Later on, he had to take a goods train to Croven's Gate. There were some fuel supplies, coal, sand for the sanders, and Rusty's fuel for the narrow-gauge engines. At first, he was making good time, but then he approached the Knapford Iron Bridge. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. But as he crossed over, he heard some mild creaking. I can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. So he had to take an alternate route once again. But then he ran into another problem. This time, he can't get over it. Literally, the suspension bridge was right in front of him, and there were no other alternate routes. So the guard went away to call Sir Topham Hatt for him to fetch another engine.
I'll help him.
All right, but try to be back before 4 o'clock. Understand? Derek agreed, and he roared off. Derek eventually found Neville looking a little scared.
Neville, there you are. Don't you remember anything Toby told you?
I'm sorry, mate. I just... See, that's a bigger bridge, bigger than the one I crossed, and a deeper fall, and I just can't. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe we can roll along the bridge together.
But what if the bridge falls down anyway?
If it does, then so be it. At least we crossed together trying.
Neville decided to take Derek's word, and they crossed over the Sodor suspension bridge. Along the way, Derek and Neville were having a little chat. Neville was comfortable with Derek talking to him. He wasn't paying too much attention about the bridges they crossed over. Neville even helped Derek out over Gordon's Hill. At last, just in time, Neville arrived at Croven's Gate. He dropped off the remaining rolling stock at the wharf and met up with Sir Topham Hatt back at Croven's Gate. He was having a honey bun from the refreshments coach. Oh, Neville! Derek has told me all about how you managed to get over bridges with his help. But I would like to ask, you think you can manage on your own? Well, it would take maybe a couple days for me to get over it. Well, I guess it is up to you. You take your time. Oh, say, what's that railway stuff wearing? Blimey! That's no railway stuff! That's the escapist Brandon Dickerson! He must have done something to Rebecca! Quickly! We have to make haste and chase after them! Sir Topham Hatt ran across the platform and onto Neville's cab. Quickly, Neville! Follow that yellow engine! Wait, sir! How am I supposed to... Get me close to the brake van! There he goes! Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah! I'm getting too old for this. You there! In case the train goes too fast, keep braking! Neville tried to get close to Rebecca, but then he ran into a problem. Oh no! It was the Knapford Bridge again. How am I supposed to get over now without the assist?
Neville!
Huh? There, he saw Derek and Toby.
You can do it.
So with some puffed up courage, Neville slowly crept along the bridge.
Don't stop.
You're almost there.
At last, Neville made it across to the other side. The engines praised his courage, and the chase resumed. Hold tight, Rebecca! I'm almost there! Almost there. You there, Dickerson! Ah, Topham! Surprised to see me. Dickerson, I don't know what you're up to, but I need you to stop this train now! Not until I derail this locomotive for request of children. Ow! Hey, I don't care! Get off this train! Ouch! Oh, so you want to play rough, huh? Okay, we're gonna play rough. Batter up, you 6-foot top-hatted penguin! Yeah! Huh? Back off! I'd say you back off! And let me... Oh, come now. I want to see what's in that belly of yours! You'll have to get through me first! On guard! Joyce! Barry! What's going on up there? Quite impressive skills. Ha ha! It's over, Topham! I'm not going down without a final blow! I would. Is this some kind of a joke? We ought to get that low-hanging limb looked at. Right. Hold on, Rebecca! I wish my grandfather was here.
Oh, don't worry about me! Save yourself!
Right. Jonathan! Brake! Brake until the coupling snaps! And he did. And as for Rebecca, she braced for the derailment.
This is probably our biggest engine yet to the rail.
Yeah, I've seen bigger.
But the front rolling stock closest to Rebecca were shaken and horrified. You horrid trucks! We were having fun with Rebecca!
Wait, you're friends with this engine?
Well, of course.
She sings us songs. We were about to have some joy until you lot ruined it. Eventually, help had arrived to save Rebecca.
Engines and success fans. Robbers, all of them have been the opposite of friendly, and I'm quite satisfied with my deal with him last month.
Eventually, all the rolling stock and Rebecca's tender were salvaged. However, Rebecca had to wait until 4 days later for Rocky to save her, since Rocky had to get new cables for his arm. But as she was re-railed, something fluttered out of her cab. Sir Topham Hatt picked it up and noticed a paper that said, "Derail Rebecca. Make them rebuild her tender or body."
What is it, sir?
I've seen this type of raw attempt before. Dickerson surely wouldn't have done something like this. This could only be the request from one man I had an issue with a while back. He goes by the name of Joseph Franklin. Then Sir Topham glanced over at the Tidmouth Penitentiary. I need a highly increased man search. And so it was done. But for now, I'm pleased to say that in future events with Neville, he has gotten over his fear with bridges. All thanks to the help of his true friends. Today was a big day at Knapford Station. Today was the new controller's first day operating the Northwestern Railway, and everyone was talking about him. So what do you think the new controller would look like? Oh, I'd say the usual over the years. The controller is known to be intelligent, considerate, and thicker than oatmeal. Oh, come on. I don't think we wanted to hear that.
Here he comes! Look sharp!
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Oh, please, just call me Mr. Richard. I haven't been knighted yet. Now, everyone, we got a very busy day ahead of us, so let's get to it. Nia and Gordon, you'll do your usual assigned jobs. Rebecca, those tankers must be taken to Vickerstown Diesel Works. And Sonny, please take those empty vans to Timothy Harbour. They're needed for Henry's flying kipper tomorrow.
Sure thing, Gov. Right away.
As the engines left, Mr. Richard took a deep breath and patted the sweat off of his forehead. Edward looked worried.
Mr. Richard, is everything all right? You look troubled.
Oh, everything's fine, Edward. I just hope everything will be an issue-free day on my first day here.
Well, it's a common thing that issues can occur on the railway.
At least you'll do a better job, unlike Dowager had back in 2017.
Exactly, my dear. And as the Gen Z would say, you got this.
And with that, the two engines left for their work, leaving a smile on their new controller's face.
Thank you, Edward.
Mr. Richard made his way to his office. He organized the timetables and watched the engines coming and going through his window. Another week has passed, and Mr. Richard was getting comfortable with his new job. However, the following day, there was a commotion at the Knapford South Harbor. So he stumbled into Winston and tried to get there immediately.
Sorry, Winston.
No worries, sir. Early days, early days.
After some minor issues with the stick, Richard walked up to the scene and Percy explained.
Dennis's red thingy's running out.
And he was right. The red crank thingy was fit to snap.
This is a predicament. Well then, Toby will handle the goods, and I'll bring Daisy here to assist with the passenger services.
Sir, with Daisy on the Farquhar branch, who will do the passenger service on the Arsburg-Harwick branch?
Now, having the clever trait within the Topham family, Mr. Richard went to his resources. But as he did, he was interrupted by a loud ringing.
Joe, bother that telephone. Hello?
Why, hello, Richard.
Oh, hello, Father. How are you today?
Things are alright here at the Vicarstown retirement home, but let's talk about you. How are things on the railway since I left you in charge?
Mr. Richard took a deep breath and explained his first 2 weeks of being controller. He even talked about his first issue he had to sort out. And Sir Stephen was fascinated.
Well then, sounds like you're doing a fine job indeed. I'm proud of you, my boy.
Thank you, Father. I feel really distorted if I disgrace the Topham family.
All goes with the thought. Your grandfather and great-grandfather would be very pleased with your work. Now just remember, if you ever need help on operating the railway, do not be afraid to ask any help from me or any of my engines. Understand?
Yes, Father. I understood. Thank you.
Okay, I love you, son.
I love you too.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
After the call, Mr. Richard went back to work, but then was interrupted again.
Sir, I just got a call that there's a commotion at Branham Docks.
Once again, Richard got into Winston and went to the scene of the issue.
What's going on here?
Hello, sir. You won't believe what we found on the ship that just docked. Hello, my name is Olivia. I'm from the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. Please tell me this is, Sodor? It is. Oh, good. I would like to have a word with that little blue tank engine for leaving me on that ship. But Thomas hasn't returned yet.
He hasn't, but he should have. Maybe he ended up in another area. We'll see to it for sure. Right now, we need to take you to the steamworks to be refurbished.
Oh, Thomas, where have you been?
Cinders and ashes. Huh? Hey, where am I? Good grief, you! Were you the one that caused the trouble for bringing me here? Hey, don't you walk away from me. Wait, what's gonna happen to me?
Something major from our boss.
Wake up! Wake up!
Ow!
Glad you're up and at it.
Get off my foot, please!
Why, I oughta...
Now, Brandon. Is that how we treat a guest?
You guys broke out of the Tippin prison, and you desperately want our railway modernized. Why?
Seems like everyone wishes to know about my past. They know who I am now, but not how I came to be. Why don't we whip up some old memories, shall we? It all began way back in 2005. It was a full week after Hurricane Tyrannus Ventus caused destruction on the island.
Alright, everyone. We're about to have an inspector come and visit here.
But sir, didn't an inspector already visit here?
Yes, but that was a elf inspector. This time, it's a railway inspector. So when he arrives, I want you to be
on our best behavior.
Very good.
Here he comes now.
Who's the controller of this railway?
That would be me, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt. Pleasure to meet you.
Joseph Franklin, railway inspector since 2002. Now, hopefully, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to have this inspection underway. And with that, Joseph Franklin and Sir Topham Hatt left to the inspection. They started at Tidmouth and ended at Vicarstown. Once the inspection was done, then came the reviews. This, railway's decent. Although, you thinking about modernization?
Well, I suppose we can...
Good Lord, what is that over there?
Oh, that's Diesel 10.
Hi, I helped clean a mess.
That's an interesting feature on him, that claw. Anyways, as I was saying, when I return in 5 years, I expect a good modernization. But other than that, it's pretty good. Then 5 years later, he came back.
If you're looking for modernization, these buildings are made of Jobay wood. One of the strongest woods.
Real fascinating. However, I'm being thrown off that this fire truck is on the rails, along with this engine having fire hoses coming out of its tank. Who was that?
That's Ferdinand, our newest resident.
No human could possibly work such out-of-date tech. But, somehow you managed to, You nailed the modernizing the buildings down, but could you do the same for some new engines?
Well, if I can make the money, then I could purchase a few newer engines.
Finally, 2015 came along, and that was the year where the cat's out of the bag.
Ah, Joseph. That's real-gusted. I purchased new diesels back in 2011. I'll be right back. I would like to show you the refurbished diesel wax.
And as Sir Stephen Topham Hatt left to find the pictures, Joseph Franklin looked around in disgust. Still see this railway hasn't changed a bit. I know. What was that for? Oh, this engine's paintwork is not up to code.
What's going on here?
Oh, I was just telling this engine that his paint job's not up to code.
Whoppers, he spat on my paint for no good reason.
Joseph, how about we have a little talk in my office?
Certainly, sir.
Alright, Joseph, spill it. What are you trying to do? What do you want me to do with the railway?
Simple. Modernize it! I mean, have you seen the type of railway you're running? I mean, why should I even call it a railway?
it's not. It's literally a worthless living museum with such out-of-date tech and whack-job engines. You really are lacking modernization. Our railways communities have standards, Sir Stephen. If you wish to be a part of it, I recommend
You follow them. I hope I'm clear as glass. With that, Joseph stormed out, only to find angry faces staring back at him as he returned outside. Hey, I was just telling your controller about the railway, that's all. Railway, huh? I thought you said this was a worthless living museum. Yeah, with out-of-date tech and whack-job engines. Well, I mean, you know what? Yeah, I got a problem with your railway. I mean, look at this engine. He's an LNYR Class 28. They were scrapped long ago. Why can't you? And you, Big Blue, your bases should also be scrapped. Not to mention, you're too large for the British loading gauge. And what about that freak with the claw on his head? Wanna say that again, you wank?
Enough! Now you listen to me, Mr. Franklin. My engines may be old, but they work hard. All of them. They are responsible, reliable, and really useful. And here's our standards. My father once said that whatever happens elsewhere, steam engines will still be at work here. We shall be glad to welcome all who want to see and travel behind real engines.
You cannot be serious, Sir Stephen.
I'm very serious. And if you don't like it, you better sort off before I start using words no good man's ever dared use.
Fine. You get this review for free. I'm gonna let you off this time. But you better watch your back. I will return, and I will make you modernize this railway. But for now, I'll be lurking in the shadows, and before you even know it, I will strike back! And with that blared out, Joseph drove off in fury.
Sir, do you really think he'll return? I can't help but think this may foreshadow something bad.
Well, if he decides to come back, we'll be ready for him.
Cheers, mate.
No, listen. There's this dweeb on the internet who is like a wannabe actor, and he's making all these like alternate accounts so he can have his voice heard and playing the innocents.
I gotta be having the worst luck on this island.
Hey now, my life was hard.
Eh?
For the past 46 years, I was a local paper lad. For nothing! After I got fired for protesting, that is.
Join the club! I got a boost for my job too! They say I was full of too much enthusiasm.
Is that a fact? Hey, sorry, I couldn't help but overhear you guys' issues. I mean, I could relate as well. No one appreciates my work. All I simply tried to do is modernize a railway, but Fathead wouldn't even listen. So no one appreciates your work, huh?
Yes.
That's correct.
Well then, ever thought about having revenge?
You're implying something.
Oh yes, I am. With the three of us together, I'm sure Sodor doesn't even stand a chance. With you operating Sodor's roadways, and you, little guy, you look like you can kill an engine.
Go on.
Okay. First things first, I needed a disguise. And then, back in 2018, I instructed Dickerson to get Bulgy and hire 2 wanted criminals.
So, what's our objective?
I want you two to use Bulgy as your getaway vehicle. We'll need him for our master plan.
Why can't you drive?
If people see me, the plan's compromised. For now, just practice driving.
Well, looks like this old double-decker bus is a decent enough getaway vehicle. What could possibly go wrong?
Turn, yield, halt. If you fail, you know who's at fault of a vehicular assault as you're doing the Sudrian driving test waltz. Gas, shift, brake, drinking coffee's a big mistake. Try not to plunge into the lake when you're doing the Sudrian driving test waltz. Use your hands when you steer her, then check in the mirror. What you see may be nearer. Don't lay on the horn. See the constable bossing, pedestrians crossing. Never drive when you're flossing. You'll wish you weren't born. Belt yourself. Only way to protect your health. Leave your friends all your hard-earned wealth. If you croak when you're boldly embarking and parallel parking and acing the written, look out for that kitten! No time for high-fiving, you're barely surviving the treacherous Sudrian driving test waltz.
I think we did okay.
I hate you guys so much. After some driving school practice, the plan was set into action. First, I instructed Dickerson, Don, and Denny to destroy some parts of the railway, and then we'd meet them at Elsbridge. Unfortunately, me and Ian's car broke down, and to make matters worse, it got destroyed by another train. We decided to travel by foot, only to find out that Don, Denny, and Dickerson got arrested. Me and Ian needed money to pay off the fine and free Dickerson, but in order to make money, we thought about re-gauging Victor and selling him to a sugar mill, just like his counterpart in Cuba. Only that plan was foiled by a cumbersome crane. And that's when we decided to ditch the idea of freeing our friend. And we went back to what we did best. Try to make the railway realistic. We tried getting rid of the Coley Fells numbers 7 and 8, just like the Snowdon Mountain Railways, only to find our plan being foiled as well, with a snap of a camera.
Was that a camouflage?
They're onto us! Get the flamethrower! Great! Now let's get out of here before they... Oh, Run! Run! Freaking run! Oh no, stupid locomotives. We were outsmarted. We tried to escape, but to no avail. We ended up behind bars as well. Even my disguise was exposed when they took it off in the coaches. They took everything from us. Our flamethrower, and our plans to modernize the Northwestern Railway. We met up with Brandon at the mess hall. He was kind of angry with us for not trying to get him out of here, but he eventually forgave us. And then we found an idea that'll help him escape. Whew, that was heavy. Before his escape, I instructed Dickerson to hijack as many engines as he could and give the railway a bad reputation. And then there was this one crash that was an unexpected joy to us. It was a long wait, but finally we waited for the perfect moment to come up with a plan for you. Basically, We hijacked the ship after your trip to America, and we dropped you off at the United Kingdom, kind of knocked you out, and brought you here in this old abandoned shed in Bridlington. Now, with all that out of the way, I think it's time for us to explain why we're here today.
Because you want to scrap me. It may be simple, but I am no fool.
Well, yeah. Although, that was what we were going to do with you. However, we had a little reevaluation. Instead of scrapping you, I had a better idea. I was on the web doing the usual research when I noticed this society that was going to build another E2 class tank engine from scratch. It was going to be called 110, but unfortunately, the project was cancelled. And that's when we thought, why bother build an E2 from scratch when we can use you disguised as the proposed 110? You become the next so-called 110 E2 class, and then we auction you off to another railway. And with the money we got from the auction, we'll buy the Northwestern Railway, become the new controllers, and we'll make it run like it should with modernization.
And as for your friends, they will either be the static, display, or good for scrap.
Quite right, Ian. So, you've got two options here, Thomas. You'll either cooperate with us, become the next so-called E2, and get auctioned off to another railway and have your life spared. Or refuse and die like you were meant to 6 decades ago. So, what's it gonna be, Thomas? Is our engine ready to be sold?
He's saying he's not, but I'm afraid he has no other option other than being scrapped.
You won't get away with this. I may be sold off to another railway, but my friends will come and look for me. Mark my words. You just keep telling yourself that. Now, Brandon, spread the word by giving out the paper. Just don't go near Barrow and Furnace.
Great. Another day, another batch of papers to send out.
So Dickerson spread the word from Bridlington to London. And when he got to Barrow and Furnace, he chucked the paper. However, today was a rather windy day.
Gah! Fireman, get this paper off me!
Ha! Well, Sampson, I never thought you'd be interested in reading today's paper.
Not my fault. The wind blew it on me. What is today's news anyway?
Let's see. Let's check the headline. E2 for auction. In 3 days, a new tank engine will be sold in Bridlington.
Is that so? Strange.
What? Pray tell makes you think that?
Haven't you heard on Sodor? Thomas is missing. Again.
Wait. Surely, you don't mean that tank engine on the front page is actually Thomas?
I'm having a certain hunch. Best if I take the news to Sodor. I'm on my way to the Boxford summer house anyway.
Well, if you're sure about it.
And with a whoosh, he was gone.
Okay, Joseph, Thomas is all sued up.
All the news is spread out.
Excellent! Now is the time to engage Phase 2. And you, Thomas, are going to make us quite a gobful of pounds. Spencer arrived on Sodor and was making his way to Knapford when Sir Topham Hatt was still on the lookout.
There's no sign of Thomas!
At Misty Island!
That's right!
Well, thanks for checking, lads. Don't worry, Percy, we will find him.
Where's Sir Topham Hatt? He needs to see this.
Who are you? And what's going on?
Spencer's fireman got out of the cab and showed Mr. Richard the paper.
Excuse me for a moment.
Mr. Richard! What is it?
Thomas is on the mainland, about to be auctioned.
Thomas? Being auctioned? But why?
My word, this is terrible. Who's going to help my coaches to the platform?
Instant bra moment.
Who knows Thomas couldn't end up? We gotta save him!
And if we don't save it, he'll be working at a pointless 9 to 8 job on carrying Sirius around. And I'll be out of a best friend. This is it. This is the true test of friendship. I've got to save my friend!
We will rescue our friend!
And so we shall.
Then it's off to Bridlington.
To Bridlington.
I'm coming too!
Before we begin, I have to make a couple of phone calls. One to my uncle and one to the search and rescue centre.
And with that, the rescue mission was on. The bigger engines made their way to Bridlington by rail, while the smaller engines traveled by ship. And of all the members of the steam team, Percy was the most determined to save his
Hello,
friend.
manager of TheNWRails, and thank you for coming. Today I'm for your lucky manager gets to take the special icon that Tangagen you with you.
I can't believe it. They actually did it. Construct an E2 class.
And it was no picnic, let me tell you that. So, originally it was actually cancelled, but then the 75th anniversary came up, so we decided to keep this reincarnation.
Well, there it is. The auction. Does it really have to be me as a lookout?
Yes, because before you came to Sodor, you used to work here. Furthermore, it would be less suspicious.
Oh, I think it will be suspicious, considering the labels on our tender.
James is right. We are going to need cover for Rebecca.
Those old coaches over there should do the trick. But who will shut them in place?
I'll do it! I may be exposed, but at a distance, the crooks will think I'm my brother, Butterborn.
Thanks, Sonny.
Be careful, dear.
Okay, Uncle Loam, you're up.
Right. Getting into character. I'm going in hot.
Without further ado, let's go begin the...
Wait! I wish to partake in this auction as well.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Me. I am Stephen Ludwig. Yes. Kinda funny. You resemble Sir Topham Hatt from the Northwestern Railway. Well, yes, of course. I often do get that a lot, but the very obvious noticeable difference is this mustache I have here. Yes, of course. Okay, I believe you. Take a seat and we'll get started. Of course, much obliged. Hello, lads. Okay, we'll start the bidding at £10,000. Do I hear £10,000?
£10,000.
Thank you. Do I hear 10,500?
£10,500.
20,000.
Got you 20,000 there, mate.
20,500.
20,500. Read 'em and weep 'em.
Do I hear 30,000?
30,500.
Wow! 30,500. Daring today, aren't we? Anyone gonna top that with 40,000?
Going once, going twice, and sold by Stephen Lookweed.
Huzzah!
We've got him! Pass it on!
We got him!
Yes. Okay, let us see the money.
Is that a check? Well, yes, of course. See, the best things in life come in small packages.
A tall Loris from Sodor!
Wait, what? Time to go.
Oh, no, no! We've been hoodwinked!
Shake a wheel, guys! It's time to go!
Don't tell us twice.
Right behind you!
Ah! They're taking it back to Sodor! Stop that lorry! This wasn't part of the plan, but this is where things make it fun. Give me that tank engine!
Got him! I thought that would work.
I'll just ram him off the trailer. Oh, not on my watch! Uh-oh. Tight turn! Hang on!
Blinking Noah! What is that engine doing here? We must dispose of him immediately.
Wait! Lance, look! That distant shape!
Hey, you're right. Is that an E2?
Huh?
Hey, lad. Are you alright?
Who are you guys?
Are you okay, Brandon?
I'm okay. My ego is bruised, but it'll heal.
What now, boss?
Now, we find that blue power plant on the skateboard and scrap him. And after that, I will modernize the NWR whatever it takes.
Sorry, but I can't even see him from up here either.
Nah, he's probably busting into pieces at the drop.
If he's dead, he's dead. That's all that really matters. Come on, let's get to Sodor. But Thomas wasn't dead.
There you are, Thomas. Back on the rails. Thanks. So, who are you guys anyway?
My boy, why don't you just follow us to our little hideout and we'll give you all the details. Meanwhile, outside of Barrow and Furnace, Butch approached a few anxious engines and a very anxious controller.
But where's Thomas? You lost him?
Okay, alright, so we may have hit a sharp bend.
We must find him immediately.
And so that's what they did. Meanwhile, Thomas was introduced to a little hideout from the E-classes.
Come out now! We've got a guest here! What?
A guest? We never have guests.
Well, we do now.
Thomas, meet your cousins.
I'm Bunty, the London brain and South Coast Railways, Class E free.
My name's Stallion, E4.
And I'm Kelly, the LBSER Class E5.
And you already know me and Lance, the E6 and E1. Wow, I have cousins?
Of course, my boy.
So, how long have you been here?
We've been here since the early 60s.
But with all this spending time here, age is catching up, and we're getting quite rustic.
Poor Thomas felt a little sorry for his cousins.
Diesel!
Diesel?
Make yourself scarce! What? So you see, Thomas, they were one of the main reasons.
That's why we hid in the shadows in the first place.
I know the pain.
Okay, sound's getting softer. Thomas, check out there.
Looks like the coast is clear.
But not for long. There was some rustling in the bushes.
Someone's found our hiding spot!
Tank engines haven't hit us. You lot get back!
What the? Other steam engines? How did the...
Guys, wait! They're my family!
Yeah, we're his family.
No, James, I meant they're my family. These are my cousins.
Everyone was puzzled until Callie broke the silence.
Wait, I know you engines. Gordon, James, some girls.
Oh, so you know us.
How'd you guys find us?
Emily has a keen eye and found a sighting that led to the spot. So, Thomas, can you tell us about your cousins?
So Thomas and his cousins explained the whole ordeal and how they're in much need of some new parts in order to be saved. And Mr. Richard couldn't deny assisting. Back on Sodor, he told the other tank engines all the details.
So Thomas's cousins need parts, but I need to select certain engines to deliver them.
Why don't we send Diesels over to give Thomas's cousins the parts?
Good idea, Nia, but only certain diesels will do.
So, it was all arranged. Some Class 08 shunters, as well as Bear, to deliver the parts. Although Diesel 10 wasn't quite aware of the situation, so he went to ask Victor. Oh, buenos dias, Diesel 10. What brings you here? We don't normally fix diesels.
I know. It's just that. Why are a few of my friends delivering parts to the mainland?
Oh, well, Thomas and his cousins are in much need of some repairs. Although it's kind of dangerous to...
Boss, we got a situation.
Oh, esta es muy mal. Bear forgot the funnel for the E4.
Why don't I take it to him? You sure that's a good idea?
Kevin's right, Diesel 10. I'm afraid it's not safe for you to go to the mainland while those heinous wreckers of realism are out there.
They may be scary, but I bet I could be scarier.
Ugh. Are we there yet?
Ugh, would you quit your complaining? We're about 1 mile away from the Wanley Channel, and then the Vickerstown Bridge will be in view.
Quick! Someone's coming!
Oh, jeez. So you see there, Spencer, Thomas is in need of some parts, along with his cousins.
Oh. Wow! A Class 8 Ford! Let's get him!
No, Ian. There are only 6 members of the Class A4 left, so we're going to spare Spencer. And remember what I told you about scrapping certain engines?
I know. Scrap all endings.
But it's actually endlings, but yes, you get the idea. But did you hear what that green 08 said? Thomas is still out there, and he has cousins? Well, Sounds like a smorgasbord for you and your flamethrower, Ian.
You know, Joseph, it's a little puzzling how you don't plan to scrap every single last engine on the island.
Hey, us cunning villains should have some standards, you know.
Oi! Here comes another engine! It's the claw one! Should we take him?
No, wait. I have a better idea. I've been working on the railway. Excuse me. Oh, you got a death wish. What you said on the island 6 years ago never left me. Yeah, right. Okay, listen, about that, we've decided to, keep your claw on your roof.
We did? I mean, yeah, we have.
You serious? Oh, yeah. Under one condition, that is. You're going to take us to where Thomas and his cousins are hiding. And if you cooperate with us, you may keep your precious claw.
Take us to the engines, or we can take your claw.
Back at the hidden yards, the engines were ready to head back to Sodor to see what Mr. Richards got planned when they heard another diesel coming. Hello?
Who's that Diesel?
Diesel 10? What are you doing here?
Hey, so I came to bring a part to this E4, and, I have a solution for a fuel source. Yes!
Hey! Watch where you're cutting the trees. What are you doing to all those trees?
Oh, well, don't you know that wood is a burnable source? I don't like the looks of this one. Do you smell that?
Yeah, I do smell it.
It smells like...
Gasoline!
Now, run him off! With guilty pleasure.
It's a trap! See you in the next life, you midgetous old-timer!
Help! Help us!
Diesel 10, what are you doing here? What's all that smoke? Is that Thomas?
Gordon and James rushed to the scene where the smoke was coming from. And there in front of them was the fire trapping the tank engines.
Blinking Nora, I can't see a way out of here. We have to make one.
I'm going to need some help. Ready, James?
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jordan! Come on, cousins. Onwards!
Our home destroyed.
My goodness, who would do such a thing?
You, Big Diesel. Yes, you!
What? Why?
You trapped us in the yard and set it all ablaze, you bloody...
Munchie, stop! It was really the Wreckers of Realism, sir. Diesel 10 was used.
It's true. The Wreckers of Realism said that I could keep my claw if I took them to the tank engines. I'm really sorry.
That's no excuse, Diesel 10. You should have declined the request in the first place. Even if your claw was destroyed, I would have still fixed it.
You know, back in my days, soldiers lost their limbs to save lives. You couldn't understand.
As the engines tried to make their way for home, they felt lost inside.
What are we supposed to do now? How are we gonna get Thomas home?
We have not trying to escape at this point. It's a lost cause.
Why don't we all cover for the tank engine like I did it for Rebecca?
My boy, it can't be simple, don't you say?
See! That's it, Lance! You're a genius!
I am. I mean, why yes I am.
But where's the nearest harbor from here?
Well, I do know there's one steam ferry nearby. Follow me!
And with that, the cavalcade followed Lance to an old harbor. And there was an old ferry.
Beauty-ish, eh?
The other engines were quite impressed. The crew inspected the interior and exterior of the ship. It seemed to be in good condition to float. The only problem is that the old boiler was rustic.
I've got it! We'll use our boilers! We'll have pipes connecting to each of our boilers to power the steamboat!
Do you think it'll work?
It's got to work. It's our only chance we have. I don't see any puddles.
Maybe they got vaporized in the process?
Metal mints, not vaporized.
Yeah, Ian's right. Something tells me that those tank engines escaped. We gotta find them. Meanwhile, all the engines were loaded into the interior of the ferry and have pipes connected to provide steam for the ferry. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough room for Gordon and Rebecca, but they'll travel back by rail. They are fast engines.
Have a safe trip, Sweet Pea!
See you back on Sodor, love.
See you back on Sodor. Good luck.
Well, that's the boiler issue sorted out. But who will handle the rudder? I'm sorry to say that Stallion was right. Someone had to control the rudder from the stern. I'll do it.
You?
Yes, me. Listen, I know you all are highly cross with me because of my actions, but I really want to make it up to you guys. Now granted, I'm not really a big fan of steam locomotives, but right now, we all have a common enemy, Joseph Franklin and his cronies. When we get back on Sodor, I promise you tank engines, you'll never see me again.
I got 3 words for you. Get on board.
It was a done deal. Dieselton was loaded on and controlled the rudder.
Is everyone ready?
Let's get this fish swimming! We need more power!
We can't work miracles! We're giving her all she's got!
With their puffing on sync, the ferry started to move.
No! Get back here! Woo-hoo! Get wrecked, wreckers!
Wow! These engines don't know when to quit.
If anything, these trains are off their rockers!
I will not yield.
Next stop, Sodor!
Looks like it's smooth sailing from here on.
Ah! Great Scott! What was that? A Klingon captain! And the engines can't take it! Ah! Jeez! What'll it take to stop this guy?
Diesel 10, got the rope!
Oh, yes, right, of course!
I'm aboard Diesel 10! Increase velocity!
What does that mean?
It means puff your fizzling pistons out! This rope is thick!
Wait, who's behind the rope?
Hold on! Hold right! Whoa! No! Gotcha!
Leave my foot alone!
I can't see! Oh, I'm slipping! Ow! Okay, enough games! He's trying to melt the hull! What do we do now?
Sergeant, where's that ring on the truck?
I hope you have a plan! No! The flamethrower!
He dropped his flamethrower!
He's still latching onto the rope!
Let him come!
110? You're throwing away the only chance I'm going to spare your life! I own you! I created you! No, you didn't, mate. Audrey did. What? Oh my gosh, you committed murder! Oh wait, no you didn't. You just pushed him onto the anchor.
Keep puffing! You can't see paradise if you don't puff!
It was a weary effort, but the engines finally made it back to Sodor. They were welcomed with a strong round of applause.
Welcome back, Thomas.
Hey fellas, look what the cat drugged in. Yes, that's right. Like the fleas in a mutt's fur, I've come back. I'm gonna make the Northwestern Railway get with the program, and I'm not gonna let some 5-foot, 8-inch, obese, top hat penguin get the better of me!
I believe the words you are searching for are the Fat Controller or Sir Topham Hatt.
Surely you must understand my position. All I'm doing is acting in the public's best interest. We do have standards.
Silence! You're a corrupt man, Joseph. You always were. My railway may have sold survivors and old railway accessories, but everyone here thinks it's the best railway ever, and we are very popular across the world. I'm sorry, Joseph, but your bickery has ended here now.
Go ahead, throw me back in that slammer, but I'll escape it again like I did before. Actually, Mr. Joseph, we've decided to give you a prison transfer. You're going to be spending the rest of your life in Portlaoise Prison in Ireland. Maximum security. No, not there, not there, not there! Hope you don't drop the soap there. Welp, all's well that ends well. Hold on, weren't there 2 more of them? Driver, look, a couple of bodies washed up on the stream. Looks like they're still breathing. We better let the people on Sodor know about this. And so they did. And after that, the Wreckers of Realism and Brandon were shipped to Portlaoise Prison in Ireland. Hope they get comfortable there, because that's where they're gonna stay for a very, very, very long time. As for Diesel 10, despite helping the tank engines, he got a 1-month punishment working with Whiff's waste dump. And as for Thomas's cousins, They were all fully restored at the steamworks, and they were then sent back to the mainland, ready to be purchased and working on heritage railways. The buyers from the previous auction were most impressed.
By Jove, an LBSCR E4 class.
And it was on the house for them. At Offset Castle, there was quite a surprise for Mr. Richard.
Well, Mr. Richard, you've been thick and thin this fortnight for operating a ray to save our lovable tank engine. Nevertheless, all's well, and that ends well.
With that said, Sir Robert Normanby finished his speech and officially knighted Sir Richard Topham Hatt.
It's official. He is now a Sir.
3 cheers to Sir Richard Topham Hatt!
Thank you, Sir Robert. It's an absolute honor.
Good riddance to Joseph Franklin, good riddance to Joseph Franklin, good riddance to Joseph Franklin.
Oh, good evening, sir. We're just celebrating Joseph's banishment. Care to join us?
In a moment, I'd like to pay someone a visit. Hello, great-grandfather and grandfather. Been through a lot this fortnight, but it was worth it. Great news. I've been knighted. Now I'm a Sir. And as I said, this fortnight was a bumpy ride, but it's only the beginning. I won't let you down. I will make the Topham blood proud.
You already have, my dear great-grandson.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. On that day, when the sky fell away, our world came to an end. In our eyes stood a fading sunrise in the dark, glimmering shadows. Silence grows in the spaces between, stretching out beyond time. Rising up as a chorus of souls finds a voice, flickering through the void. These little sparks cling on to life, everyone caught in this struggle. And then the storms of change, they fan the flames, scattering ashes to the wind. Every soul contains a whisper of light, gleaming faintly as it dwindles from sight. No escape, no greater fate to be made. In the end, the chains of time will not break. Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. As fate spins a thread without end, new life draws its first breath, blossoming in a soil reclaimed from the past, where destiny holds fast. Here where we stand, hand clenched in hand, everyone caught in a struggle. This is the day we finally find a way, stepping into our tomorrow. Every soul contains a whisper of light, growing louder as it calls to unite. From the distance sings a
Finally, season 3's over. And so is the arc. I need a rest. You guys are still here? It's over. Go read a book, go outside and play, watch another video, spend time with friends and family. There's nothing more to see here. Go on now. Look, season 4 is coming, alright? Just give me time. I need a rest.